Namaste. Welcome to Current Affairs with Jyotsna Sharma, my exclusive show that focuses on current events and affairs that relate to your happy, healthy, and successful existence. Today, I have come back with another important topic. Of late, we have observed that many TV celebrity stars back in India died of sudden cardiac arrest while they were at the gym. They were in their 40s or 50s at the most. And the problem is, nobody got to know what was actually happening in their bodies before they actually met with the fate. Today, we are going to talk about the decoding of cardiac arrests, heart attacks at the gym. Why do they happen? What is the root cause? And everything we will get to know in detail, the reason behind and the right education through our esteemed guest today. His name is Dr. Avinash Gupta, and he is a practicing cardiologist in Lakewood, New Jersey since 1994. He is board certified in cardiology, nuclear cardiology, and clinical lipidology. His passion is preventive cardiology. He trained at SUNY downstate Brooklyn, New York. Dr. Gupta serves as Chief of Cardiology at Monmouth Medical Center, Southern Campus, where he is also the President-elect of Medical Staff. He has served as the President of Monmouth Ocean County Association of Physicians from India, also called as MOCAPI, and President of Bihar Jharkhand Association of North America, also called as BAJANA. He served as the reception chair in 2019 for the Federation of Indian Association as well. And he's a member of the American College of Cardiology, the National Lipid Association, and the Medical Society of New Jersey. He is involved in various charitable works, both here in the community in which he lives, as well as in the community he left behind in India. It is his passion to help others and mentor the next generation. Dr. Gupta is currently serving as the chairman for the Siddhi Vinayak Temple USA, an Indian cultural center in Toms River, New Jersey, which he has spent endless hours fundraising for and helping to open since 2012, finally opening its door in 2016. Dr. Gupta is extremely hardworking, focused, and determined. He believed in teamwork and encompasses strong leadership qualities, which he sets a goal and he will never stop until he achieves it. Such a decorated profile. Very, very warm welcome to you, Dr. Gupta. Thank you for coming to our studio.
Thank you, Jyotsna ji, and thank you, ITV Gold, for bringing this very important and timely topic to the viewers of ITV Gold. Every month, almost every month, we hear that some TV celebrity or some famous personality died, who young and very active, but still they had a heart attack or sudden cardiac death.
Absolutely.
And I get calls all the time, and it is my passion to educate people, increase the awareness, and so that we can prevent this from happening again.
Indeed, I was, just a few days back again, we read another news of a TV celebrity star in India by the name Siddhant. He passed away. Before that, we lost Raju Srivastava, a famous comedian who was popular worldwide, to heart attack again. He was at gym. Even before that, Puneet Rajkumar, the South Indian actor, he died. And of course, if we speak about a couple of other, celebrity stars, they also collapsed. And not just that, some people, of course, they were into their field, performing like the singer KK. It was not gym exactly, but still he was in the field performing, and something happened, and then he also collapsed. So we always, we have seen these people, they have a very healthy lifestyle as they portray. They go to gym regularly, are doing great exercise, great diet control. They have a lot of trainers along with them, dietitians, and everybody. They're celebrity stars. But even then, they died of heart attack or the complications that happened because of that. And I was always curious why it is happening. What is the reason behind? What is it that is going wrong in the body? Or it is something that suddenly happens and people meet their fate?
Yeah, it is very important to remember certain things. The first thing is that if you are 35, 40 years of age, Indians especially have a higher incidence of heart attacks and strokes at an early age. So it happens about 10 years early than the Caucasians. So we have to be careful. And if you are 40 and if you are going to start a vigorous exercise program, you must see a cardiologist and get a treadmill stress test before starting on an exercise program, because we need to know your risk. The other thing is, don't overdo it. Moderate exercise is good enough. We should never overdo it, like some people do at the gym. And the third thing is that we should know when to stop. So suppose you are exercising, you get chest pain, you get shortness of breath, you start sweating profusely, you become lightheaded, dizzy, or you have congestion in the lungs, you should stop right away. The other thing is, if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol, then you should see a cardiologist before you start an exercise program. Also, during exercise, keep well hydrated, because you sweat a lot. You also lose some fluid on breathing, and when you are dehydrated, it does more harm than good. And then never hit the gym after eating, because after eating, if you exercise, it does more damage to your body than.
So what do you suggest? How much gap should we have between our meal and hitting the gym?
At least 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah, at least 2 hours. And eat light before you go there. And the last thing I will say, that avoid taking steroids or synthetic protein drinks, because that does more harm to the internal organs. And if you follow all these protocol, then you should be good exercising, because exercise is good for you, and exercise is good for cardiovascular fitness.
So thank you so much, Dr. Gupta. Now I have another set of questions. Life is getting modernized. Our source of energy or proteins are changing as we speak about our modern day diet. And these people, these celebrities, it's just not about celebrities. We speak about people in general. We are complementing our diets. There are some protein shakes that we bring in. There are some energy drinks that we bring in. And my question is, specifically with the energy drinks, you have multiple energy drinks that people consume before hitting the gym or while doing the gym. How safe are they? And what is the damage caused by them if an excess of intake happens of these energy drinks?
So I would just recommend that, keep well hydrated, and after you have exercised, get a protein drink. But don't use steroids or synthetic proteins. And people buy over-the-counter stuff which to build their muscles, like creatine or
whey proteins.
Yeah, so those things are not good, because they can damage the internal
And
organs.
about these energy drinks, when I speak about, those
like
spike, they have caffeine and all, right? So what's the take there?
Like too much caffeine also is not good, because it increases the heart rate.
So basically, if you have taken an energy drink, it has caffeine in it, correct me if I'm wrong, and that caffeine basically increases your heart rate.
Yeah. So it increases the heart rate, then you are exercising, the heart rate goes further up, and there is oxygen debt. It's always supply and demand. And if the demand is too much and the supply is not enough, then that can cause heart damage.
So, wow. So basically, you are falling short of oxygen there. Heart is already pumping at a higher rate. The blood is being required to pump, but then there is a gap in between. The connect of the oxygen and the blood supply is not happening. And that's where the cardiac arrest happens.
Actually, the cardiac arrest can happen two different ways. So either patient already has a blockage which was undiagnosed, and you'll be surprised to know that if you have a 70% blockage, then your heart muscle does not get enough blood and you will get chest pain. So you are lucky, then you will know when to stop.
Right.
And seek help, and then they will put a stent. But if you have a 30% blockage, but if your cholesterol is high, sugar is high, or you smoke, or you have high sugar, then what happens is these plaques with extreme exertion, or if you are overdoing in the gym, they can rupture. The plaque ruptures, and then there is a blood clot formation. And the blood clot won't stop there, it will fill up the whole artery. And then there is electrical disturbance that leads to cardiac arrest. Or you can have severe heart muscle damage, and that can cause pump failure, and the heart is not able to pump, and that also leads to heart failure.
Wow. So, we went through the profiles of some of these celebrity stars who died. Raju Srivastava, say. There was nothing major with his life, of course, but there was some concerns, I believe, and that definitely, along with the exercise, worsened his state. So basically, exercises in moderation is where you say should be done. But when you speak about saying don't overdo it, how would a patient or a person get to know this is my max? I should not cross this threshold, because if I cross this threshold, it is going to be fatal.
Yeah, that's where you should consult a doctor before you start a vigorous exercise program. And you should know your limits. The physical trainer should know your limits.
What is the frequency of our own medical checkup, basically, that we should keep in mind while we are doing these gyms and all, are on a fitness regimen? How often should we get our entire vitals and the blood work, checked, basically?
Well, that depends on if they have any condition, and like diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, or they are smoking, or they have a family history. Then, but even otherwise, everybody should get checked at least once a year, and more frequently if the doctor suggests that come back in 6 months, they should go back in 6 months.
Okay. Now, of course, you being a cardiologist and have seen many cases, and you were speaking about the Indian origin men, basically somewhere, or the Indian people in general, they are more prone to cardiac arrest. What is it that is different in the Indian men and women, or rather specifically, I have seen more men dying right now. What is it, the anatomy that is different, that is causing damage more?
Yeah, so Americans are at risk for heart attacks, and Europeans are at risk for strokes. But they have risk factors like high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, smoking. So we know that. But Indians, even without any risk factors, they are at risk for both heart attacks and stroke, and that also at an early age. So like 10 years earlier than others. So 25% of heart attacks in Indians happen below age 40. And we think that, well, once I turn 40, then I'll get checked. But the process has already started. And 50% of heart attacks happen below age 50. So it's so prevalent. So the reasons is, number one, genetic. People from that subcontinent are at higher risk. And nothing happens for no reason. So if you dig deep, you'll find something. So if you don't have any of these risk factors which we talked about, then you should go further. If you have a family history, if you do some advanced lipid testing and see what your particle size, particle numbers are, or you check for lipoprotein A. Lipoprotein A we call deadly cholesterol, because not only it causes blood clots, but it causes blockages too. And it is responsible for premature CAD in Indians. 45% of Indians have high LP little a, whereas only 5% of Caucasians have high LP little a. Then there is homocysteine and C-reactive protein. Nowadays, we recommend that either you are on, everybody should be on a statin if they qualify for it based on their cholesterol levels. But if you are still undecided whether you should take a statin or not, then you should get a coronary calcium score. Coronary calcium score, if it is 0, then you are at very low risk. But if it is between 0 to 100, you are mild risk. 100 to 200, you are moderate risk. And more than 300, you are very high risk.
So basically, we can get to know well in advance whether we are at a risk or not by doing this. You said what test is this?
Coronary calcium scoring.
Coronary calcium scoring. Yes, for the audience, keep a note of it. Of course, when we have our esteemed guest here, he has a lot of experience, and my only reason to bring him here is to educate all of you. And Dr. Gupta, another thing about, we take it very casually. We will go for a test, blood work. We'll see our lipid profile. We'll see cholesterol. 200, yeah, I'm just 220, not very high. It's okay, I'm little high. Triglycerides, HDL and LDL. And even though test results are not great, people still related, I'm just 20 up, 20 down, 30 up, 30 down. How crucial is this lipid profile basically for our body? And specifically, I need guidance from you about keeping the right level of HDL and the LDL basically, and how to control it, and triglycerides per se.
LDL is the bad cholesterol, and HDL is the good cholesterol, and triglycerides I call ugly, and as I said, LP little a I call deadly. So LDL is like garbage, and HDL is like garbage truck. So you are putting garbage on the side of the street every week, and if the HDL is low, which we Indians have low HDL, so if the garbage truck is not coming and you keep on putting garbage on the side of the street will get clogged. So it's very difficult to increase the good cholesterol because it is genetic. You are born with a low good cholesterol, but it is very easy to lower the bad cholesterol. So you can take a statin and lower the bad cholesterol. So then the low HDL will be mitigated. And then if the LDL should be less than 100 in everybody, but for Indians it should be less than 70. And HDL is the good cholesterol, it should be more than 40 in men and more than 50 in women, but higher it is, better it is, and if it is more than 60, then you are in good shape.
Okay, now the question is, you said HDL is all more of genetics, right? But what are the other grounds to improve the HDL then in the body?
HDL, you have to stop smoking if you are smoking, and exercise can increase the good cholesterol. And people ask me whether alcohol can increase the good cholesterol, but alcohol only in moderation is good. Red wine, 2 glasses
You
a
are
day.
giving some happy news, huh?
Yeah. So, but if you drink more, then it will affect your liver.
So red wine is still in moderation is okay to have, you're saying.
Yeah.
But then the hardcore cholesterol like scotch and whiskeys and this vodkas and all, they're no good?
They are no good. But again, we don't recommend to drink wine to increase the good cholesterol, because if somebody is already drinking it, then we don't ask them to stop.
All right.
But we don't recommend to start it.
We don't promote addiction.
Yeah.
We understand your point. Thank you, Dr. Gupta there. So, in fact, more questions in line, of course, about the diet. As we speak about this, people from Indian origin, with our genetics, with our body types, what is it we should take as a healthy diet for ourselves? Any inputs?
For the longest time, fats have been blamed for heart disease, but it's not fats, it's mainly the carbohydrates. Sugar, cake, bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, cookies. I mean, they are, sugar is poison, so you should not take it. And they also cause increase in weight, and increase in weight in turn leads to high cholesterol, high sugar, and high blood pressure. So we should cut down on the carbohydrates. That's number one. And fruits and vegetables we should eat. And not all fruits are good. Fruits such as grapes, bananas, pineapple, watermelon, they have high sugar content. So if you don't have diabetes and if you don't have problem with the weight, you can take them. But if you're trying to lose weight, or if you are trying to control your sugar, then you should stay away from them. For them, the fruits which are good are apples, strawberry, blueberry, and vegetables as much as you can eat. Don't eat saturated fat. Saturated fat is anything which is solid on room temperature is not good. So
basically the butter.
Yeah, So you should eat like corn oil, virgin olive oil.
Olive oil.
They are good.
Corn oil is not good.
Yeah, olive oil is better.
Olive oil is better.
Yeah.
Okay, I was coming to the next topic of oil only here.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I've heard that there are certain oils which are really bad. In that category lies the canola oil,
Yeah.
corn oil, vegetable oil. Of late, or rather, people at large in general use canola oil for frying here in this country. I mean, we have observed this, right? What is your take on canola oil in particular and vegetable oils?
Yeah, as I said, we recommend to use olive oil and avoid using the others.
But deep frying thing is basically
Yeah.
they use canola oils and
Yeah.
all. Is there any other substitute?
I mean, we have air fryer nowadays.
Okay. All right. So basically, oils, any deep frying is really bad. If you have to do, great suggestion by Dr. Gupta is using the air fryer or bake it rather.
And never ever use the same oil to fry again and again. That causes more harm.
Okay. So it causes, we have heard that if you reuse the oil in which you have done a deep frying, reuse can be carcinogenic.
Yeah.
Is there any other reason for
No.
the heart also? Is it bad that the lipids or I mean the fats content or whatever it is, does it change?
No, it's that carcinogenic.
It's more carcinogenic. Fine, perfect. In the gym, of course, we have swimming pools as well, very well equipped. How good is swimming as an exercise and how safe is it?
Well, swimming is the best exercise because it gives you whole body exercise. It incorporates breathing also. So that's the best. But one thing I would like to say is that in a gym, all gyms should be equipped with an automatic external defibrillator, AED,
Okay.
because that can be used by lay people also. And everybody should be trained in CPR, basic CPR, basic life support, and use of AED. And that can save lives. Because people who have heart disease and their heart is weak, they go into cardiac arrest, there is less chance of survival. But these young people who are having cardiac arrest in the gym, if you shock them with the cardioverter, they will come back because their heart is still strong.
So these are basically, you quote the term is automatic, what?
Automatic external defibrillator.
AEDs,
AED.
basically. Okay. Automatic external defibrillators. If you keep them at gym, they can save many lives. People who got those cardiac arrest in the gym who were young, they can still be saved, as Dr. Gupta advises there. Pretty interesting inputs, Dr. Gupta. From your side, on a preventive note, for any healthy regimen, what do you advise to the youth? Because they are really, fantasized about the concept of exercises. And specifically with the weights. They run on the treadmills, they do ellipticals, they do bikes and everything. The other thing is weights, heavy lifting weights. What impact do they have on the body and the heart?
Yeah, my advice would be number one, exercise moderately. Number two, eat sensibly. Don't eat junk food or oils. Number three, maintain an ideal weight, BMI of 23 in Indians. And number four, use alcohol in moderation. And number five, don't smoke.
Okay. And about these weights in the gym,
Weights.
what do you have to say?
Weight,
We are just trying to dissect the gym area basically.
weight
and see.
training is good, but in moderation.
Again in moderation.
Yeah.
So what happens when a person lifts weights? Does the heart pump faster? What is the anatomy inside? What's happening in the body physiology?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if somebody has high blood pressure, then they should not do weights.
At
Because that's they should be more with aerobic exercise, like walking on the treadmill or elliptical. You cannot go wrong with that. But weight lifting can damage. But you need some resistance training also for muscles.
Fine, but in moderation you do it,
Yeah.
this means. And about this cardio exercise, when we use the word cardio for laymen, what basically it is, people go for cardio exercises in the gym. What is it? What do they do? How do they help?
Basically, all it means is increase your heart rate to 85% of your maximum predicted heart rate, which is 220 minus age, and take 85% of that. So increase your heart rate by exercising enough to reach that heart rate and keep it up for 20 minutes. And that will give you cardiovascular fitness.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Gupta. You have given us quite a wide angle of everything about the heart health. Now, there is one last question about the patients who have undergone the, the implant of valves, or say the stents in their body. How should they exercise, basically? I mean, we understand from a general perspective that when a stent is there in your body, you are fit. I mean, you can do a lot of good things, right? And you can do exercise. What is the advice for them?
Yeah, so here it will be called secondary prevention. That means this person already had heart disease and he's had a stent or bypass, but we don't want him to have another heart attack or another stent or another bypass. So we take care of all the risk factors of which cause the blockage in the first place, and then these patients obviously will be under care of a cardiologist, and he will make sure that his blood pressure, cholesterol and sugar are under good control. And he has to, we do send them to exercise program, which is called cardiac rehabilitation. And before they accept in cardiac rehabilitation, they need a stress test. So we routinely do a stress test, then send them for cardiac rehab, where they exercise under supervision. They are monitored, and once they finish the cardiac rehabilitation program, then they exercise on their own. So again, his blood pressure, cholesterol and sugar should be under good control. If they are not feeling well, they should not exercise that particular day. They should be well hydrated. They should know when to stop. Chest pain, shortness of breath, sweating, and they should be not smoking, and they should basically not overdo it, because they cannot compare themselves with other people who are healthy, younger, and sometimes it's trendy to run a marathon or overdo it at the gym because there are other people exercising, so they should try to avoid it.
Perfect. So you do not get swayed by what is happening around you. It's your body. If you have a stent in your heart or any other complication, you are on the secondary level. You have to be really well guarded, be really, through this processes as Dr. Gupta advised, and only then you are hitting the gym. And while you are at the gym, over enthusiasm sometimes kills, and it has happened. So please keep your enthusiasm normal. Don't do anything in excess. That is what the message is coming from Dr. Gupta today. Basic, all other things repeated multiple times in the conversation today. Thank you, Dr. Gupta, for your time today and for educating our audience, and we highly appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Thank you, Jyotsna ji and ITV Gold.
Thank you so much. And my dear audience, I'll come back again with something very important in my next show. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay blessed. Thank you so much.